Hey designers, and happy Monday. You know what that means. Go grab your favorite cup of hot cocoa, a few of your favorite cookies, pull up a chair and sit and chat with me a while in today's episode of Cocoa and Cookies. Well, good morning, everyone. Hope you've had a great weekend and hope your week is off to a fantastic start. Let me go ahead and show you my little mug today. I've got my snowman mug. This is one that I found recently that was my grandmother's. You guys will remember that if you've been watching through Vlogmas. So, no hot cocoa today. Just got water because it's just one of those days where I'm feeling a little dehydrated and just wanted some good old cold water. What I love about early in the morning is when you get that first glass of ice cold water and then you just like fill it all the way down. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's a pretty cool feeling. I love it. I don't know, I guess your body is so warm on the inside and that cool drink going down kind of feels nice. Today I'm going to be answering your questions again or talking to you in somewhat real time. I have already put the call out on Facebook and on Twitter asking you guys to submit me your questions, and on Instagram as well. You can also comment over there between 12:15 and 12:45. Whatever questions come in, I will be answering them right here. So that's so cool. But while I'm waiting to get this thing rolling, I'm going to click onto my computer. I've been trying to figure out this YouTube Live to see if we can finally bring Cocoa and Cookies live to you guys where you can chat with me right on the YouTube screen, because I really want to get that going. And I've been watching a ton of videos trying to figure out how to get it going, and either I'm just super technologically challenged or something, because I am following these tutorials step by step in setting up all of the settings, and I am still having trouble making it work. But while I'm waiting just a minute for some of your first questions to start rolling in, I'm going to go ahead and click this live button and we're just going to test it and see if maybe it'll work. And if so, then next week we'll be able to definitely go live. So let's just start the button and see what happens. All right. The computer is thinking. And it says it's connected. So let's hop over here to YouTube and see if it's actually online. And it's not saying that it is. I know there can be a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to wait about 10 to 15 seconds here and see what's going to happen. No, it's not going to work. I don't know, guys. I cannot, for the life of me, figure it out. I have walked through the software that you have to download from online. You have to have a special encoder that communicates somehow with YouTube. Copy and pasted in all of the codes and all that, and it's just, I can't figure it out. I just cannot get it to sync with my computer. So if the hubs can't figure it out, which he's tried with me before, he couldn't figure it out either, but I found a couple of different tutorials, so I don't know. If you guys are watching this and you live stream your videos, please comment below and help me out here, because I really want to get that rolling. I think it would be much better for all of us if my Cocoa and Cookies was actually live on Mondays. But at any rate, all right, I'm going to hop on over to these social medias and see if any questions have come in yet. There were a couple of questions that I didn't get to answer last week, and I'm going to try to also squeeze those in today as well. Let's see here. All right, we have one on Facebook that has come in. Can you talk about how you budget for Christmas? All right, I'm not sure if that means me specifically or just in general, you as in collectively. I'll tell you how we do it. How we used to do it in the past anyway, was we would set aside a certain amount of money each month that we would slip into a savings account that we did not touch until it was Christmas time. Now, because of all of our house troubles, you guys have seen and you know all that story, we haven't actually been able to put anything into savings in probably the last 4 years. I guess it's been ever since we started on the house, because every extra penny we get goes right into this house and trying to get it livable again. And we're going to do that with you guys. If you had been watching Real Talk with the Roses, you know we've taken a little bit of a break and a hiatus from that. But the Hubs and I were talking again this week. We're going to get back to filming those for you. And where we had left off in that series was about budgeting. If you have not seen that yet, I'm going to have that linked for you down below, because you'll want to go catch up on all those. We talk about how to overcome infidelity. We tell the story about how we met and all that fun stuff. There's a lot of great videos there. And one of the ones that we do want to cover is intense and in-depth budgeting with you guys, because in case you didn't know, we are certified budget counselors, so we hope to help you. However, that's my best suggestion, is that you start even in January and you take a little bit of money. If you know, let's just say that you want to be able to spend, say, $1,000 total at Christmas, and that's on everybody, your children, your parents, grandparents, maybe cousins, aunts, uncles, whoever is on your Christmas list. However many people that is, that's how you're going to set your budget. If you want to spend, say, an average of $10 to $15 for extended family or for nieces and nephews and that kind of stuff, add up how many nieces and nephews you have times that $15. That's going to let you know how much you're going to need come Christmas time. And the same way with your kids. If you know, okay, I want to spend between $200 and $300 per child, that's going to tell you what your Christmas budget needs to be. You divide that by 12 and then you start setting aside a little bit of money every month. Some of you may get paid weekly. We happen to get paid once a month, and that makes it a whole lot easier. But if you get paid weekly, then you would take the amount you need for Christmas, divide that by the 12 months, and then divide that by 4.33, because some months have 5 weeks. That's going to give you how much you need to take out of each paycheck to set aside in a special savings account, and then make the commitment to not touch it. That's where people go wrong. People in their budgeting, they realize, well, I've got a savings account over here and I've got like $100 in there, and they'll tap into that for other things, and then when it comes Christmas time, their Christmas money is gone. You've got to make a determined decision that you're not going to touch that money. You're going to leave it there for its intended purpose. Then when Christmas rolls around, you're going to have your Christmas money already there, and it's not going to be a hardship on you because you planned ahead. And so this is a great question, and I think everyone needs to start doing that. For the last few years for us, our Christmas budget has been set for us because, like I said, we haven't been able to put money aside into savings because of our house issues. But where my husband works, his employer gives them a Christmas bonus every year that he gets at the 1st of December. And whatever that Christmas bonus is going to be for that year, that's our Christmas budget. And we know, okay, this is the total amount we have to spend on Christmas, and that includes, you know, my parents. His parents are already deceased, so we don't have his parents to buy for, but that includes my parents, any nieces and nephews that we want to include in there, or special friends or whatever, and it also includes our children and each other. So it's been kind of a little easier for us because it's been predetermined by his employer the last few years. But hopefully in January, when his promotion goes into effect, we'll be a little bit in a better position to start setting some aside again in our savings account. So that's how I recommend that you do that. So great question. That's a very good question, because I know I used to work at the electric company here in town. And I'm going to go ahead and start checking for other questions while I say this. So from looking down, that's why, you guys. Anyway, I used to work at our local electric company, and never failed. Every December, we started having people that would call in needing extensions on their bill. They couldn't pay their electric bill because they were trying to buy Christmas presents and they spent more for Christmas than they anticipated. So come the January bill, they were calling in again, asking for extensions. And very often on the phone, I would talk with them about that then. You know, you have 12 months to plan for Christmas. It doesn't sneak up on you. It's not a surprise attack. It's coming the same day every year. So start at the first of the year and plan ahead. And then that's going to relieve a lot of stress during the holidays. Trust me, it will. And you will be so glad you did it. All right, let me hop on over here to Twitter and see if we've had any questions coming in over there. And let's check Instagram. Some of you guys last week had seen the picture, but you actually saw it a little bit too late and weren't able to get your questions in, and not sure if you're going to have seen the notification. I think I posted this about 30 minutes ahead of time to give you guys some time to find it. Let's see here. Nothing on Instagram. All right, so then let's go back to Facebook. Facebook seems to be where most of your questions are coming from, so that's pretty cool. It's always interesting to see which social media outlets people are on the most. All right, let me see if I can find it. Somehow I seem to have lost it. All right, here we go. All right, this question is about my parents again. You guys have seen them on a couple of vlogs lately. Says, your parents look so young. How old were they when they had you? I asked them that on a recent vlog for you guys, and they prefer not to answer how old they are or any of that kind of stuff. They like to play around with this age thing because they do hold their age so well and they look very, very good. And so they don't really like to let the cat out of the bag. They like to keep people guessing. So I'm not going to answer that one for them. I don't know if we'll be able to finally get them to tell you in an upcoming vlog or not, but I think they have fun with it because people always think they look so young. So all right, let's see the next question. Do you watch what you eat? Yep, all the way from my plate to my mouth. No, right now, honestly, I have not been watching what I eat, and I wish that I were, because I feel so much better when I do watch what I eat. I went for, let's see, I guess it was probably about a 2-year time period, maybe 18 months to 2 years, somewhere in there, where I wasn't eating any sugar, no processed foods. Everything was completely whole and good for you, vegetables and good healthy carbohydrates and proteins and that kind of stuff, and I felt so good, lost a lot of weight. Matter of fact, I had gotten down to within 5 pounds of what I weighed when I got married, and I was very, very small. Matter of fact, I look back at some of the pictures. My husband and I came across one the other day during that time period, and I had lost so much weight that I actually looked a little unhealthy. You wouldn't say that I look like skin and bones, but just, I guess because we're just so used to me being filled out a little bit more. Looking back at those pictures, we both thought, wow, you know, I really did. And it wasn't because I wasn't eating. I was eating all day long. I was not counting calories and worrying about anything like that. I just simply cut out all the processed foods and all the sugars, and naturally my body adjusted to where it needed to be for itself, because I'm telling you, I would pig out. I would cook little thin steaks with onions and peppers sauteed for lunch almost every day. You know, I had eggs for breakfast, eating a lot of the good healthy proteins with the right type of amino acids. I was taking my vitamins and supplements and all that stuff, and just naturally the weight would fall off, because it really is the sugar and the processed foods, anything with white flour, all of that kind of stuff. It all acts like glucose, which is what will cause your cells to hold the fat. So I really do need to get back to that. I've been doing it really well with Transformation Tuesday for a while. But with our hectic lifestyle, it's so easy to slip back into bad patterns of eating. And it's also easy to grab for the sweet stuff during the holidays and all. So, nah, I haven't been watching it, but I really do plan to do that come the 1st of January. So hopefully all of you guys will follow along with Transformation Tuesday and help hold me accountable. All right, let's see if we have any more questions here. You guys seem to really like this format last week. I had a lot of comments on Cocoa and Cookies last week that you had enjoyed being able to hear the answers to all of your questions. All right, let's see here. What is another one we have on Facebook? Do you exercise? Honestly, I have not gotten in a lot of exercise lately because I've had so many problems with my foot. You guys will know that if you've been watching through the vlogs. I guess I started having issues, I don't know, it probably was around July, maybe August. And every time it gets where it's feeling better, where I can stand up for longer periods of time or do more as far as activity, I will tend to kind of overdo it, and then I push myself right back almost to the beginning, if that makes sense. Like Thursday, you guys had seen that my husband and I went out of town and we went shopping for Christmas, and I was on my feet all day. And now, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I've had a hard time moving around again because I just completely overdid it. But it was feeling fine at the time, and sometimes you forget that you still have an injury that's healing, and you just overdo it, and then you set yourself back. So, no, I haven't been able to do a lot of activity. Matter of fact, I was talking to my husband over the weekend and said I wish I had one of the elliptical machines or something like that where I could do some pretty aggressive activity, but still while off of my feet, just to be able to burn some calories, because when you're not able to get up and really do a lot of movement, those calories are just going to stick with you. You're not burning it off, and then either you have to really reduce the amount you're eating, which I'm not about that life, or it's just going to continue to pile on, which is my problem. So anyway, there you have that. So let's see what else we have here. Where do you like to shop for your clothes? I have to be honest with you, I have not bought clothes in a long time. You guys can probably tell that because I wear about the same clothes in every video. Matter of fact, one of the kids yesterday at church said to me, "Miss Dina, you wear the same shirt almost every week." And I said to her, I said, that's because I don't have very many shirts that fit me right now. I've outgrown my clothes and I just have to wear what I have. So, you know, we don't have extra money for shopping right now. Like a clothes budget is completely out of the question because we put our money back in our house. That's our priority right now, is getting everything back in our home set. Number two, I think if you are a woman especially, and if you've ever struggled with being overweight, then you can probably relate to this next statement. I hate to buy the big clothes. And so I will wear out the ones that I have because I refuse to buy big clothes. Hopefully that makes sense. And unless you've ever struggled with your weight, you may not understand that statement. But if you've ever struggled with your weight, I'm sure you probably can relate, because it's like you just, denial, I guess. You just don't want to have to see those big numbers when you go into a dressing room. So I don't really shop very much for clothes. Since you don't work, does your husband give you money for things? My husband doesn't give me anything because this is not a his and mine. When we got married, and the way we counsel with married couples, everything becomes yours mutually. Now, I know that goes against the grain of society, you know, and you have all of your prenuptial agreements and his bank account and her bank account, and this is mine and this is mine. That is very detrimental to a marriage over the long run. And it may seem to work for a little while, and things may seem to click okay for a little while, but in the long term, it's not healthy, it's not good. When you get married, you become one. You become one flesh, one everything. What's yours is his, and what's his is yours, and that's just the way that it was designed by God. Now, saying all that, do we get allowances in the family on things that we can spend for whatever we want? We used to. The kids still do. We do still budget some money that we give the kids every month. It's not much, and they haven't gotten a raise in a very long time. But it is at least a little bit, and we give them that at the first of the month, and they can spend it on whatever they want to spend it on during the month. My husband and I used to also get that allowance to where it was ours. We could do whatever we wanted to with it and didn't have to worry about, you know, conversing with each other to say, is it okay if I spend the money on this or on this? Because it was just set aside for that purpose. But since, I don't know, it's probably been a couple of years even before we had to start tearing apart our house, when our money started getting a little tighter, a little tighter, a little tighter, we stopped that with each other. So I don't have my allowance anymore. He doesn't have his allowance anymore. Instead, everything is focused and centered on getting the house back in order. And we do converse with each other. If he's out and about somewhere and he comes across an item that he feels like is a really great deal and would be something that would be a sale that would be hard to pass up, if it's within reason, like $20 or less, then there's no need to converse about that. But if it's going to be more than that, because our budget is so tight, he will call and he will say, listen, I'm here. They have this item. What do you think? You think we can swing this? Should we do it? Blah, blah, blah. And we talk about that with each other. And the same with me. If I'm out and about shopping, within reason, you know, I can make decisions for our family and we'll do that. But if it's a certain dollar amount or more, then I will call him or text him and say, I'm in the store, I see this item, it's at a really great deal, I think we should do it, what do you think? And we stay in complete sync and unity on that issue, because money troubles can drive a big wedge into marriage. And when you keep things separate, like this is mine and this is yours, we don't look at it as he works so all the money is his. Because we're one, and part of a marriage is he provides and takes care of our whole family, but it's not his money, it's ours together. And that could be a whole other cocoa and cookies. If you guys have more questions about that, feel free to comment them below. And we'll touch on some of that in our Real Talk with the Roses. Look for the playlist. We'll talk some more about that, but no, he doesn't like give me money as like he's doing me a favor, because it's ours together. So anyway, hope that answers your question there. All right, let's see what time it is. All right, I think we have time for one more question. So let me check all of the media outlets to see if any other ones have come in on Twitter or not Periscope, Instagram, before I answer another one off of Facebook. All right, so let's get back to this list here, and I'm going to answer one last question for you. There's a long list, so I'm trying to figure out a good one that we can end this on. So give me just a second. All right, we'll end it on this one. How do you find time to do everything? Homeschool, church, make videos, etc. I don't know. I don't know an easy answer to that question. I really don't know. Things work around here because we work as a team, as a family unit. We don't have things that we say, well, this is just mom's job and nobody else's, or this is dad's responsibility, nobody else's, and blah, blah, blah. There are certain things that we do have assigned that people do in the family, like just for instance, one of Bub's jobs is that he takes care of all of the trash. And on Thursdays, he makes sure that the trash gets out to the curb for trash day on Friday. And now that doesn't mean that none of the rest of us can help with the trash. It just means that that's his responsibility. And on Thursdays, he knows, okay, I need to check, has everything been taken care of in that area? And then the same way with my daughter, there are certain things around here that she takes care of that, yes, we can all pitch in and help her, but it's ultimately her responsibility to make sure that they're done. She has also really stepped up to the plate to help out a lot with like cooking dinners, making sure that's done, and keeping the kitchen area organized and cleaned up for me, because right now, YouTube is my job, so to speak, and it really does take a lot of my time every day between filming the videos, editing videos, responding to comments and questions and those kind of things. So it's the way I look at it is like this. If I were working outside of the home and had to clock in at 8 o'clock and work until 5. I would not be here to get things done, and I would absolutely have to have the help of my family to make things run. So it's the same way when I'm focused on YouTube, or when I'm focused on preparing sermons, or whenever I'm focused on doing schoolwork with my son, grading his work, that kind of stuff. That is my job, so to speak, and that time is set aside for work, and so everybody just pitches in and helps. And it really helps things run a lot more smoothly around here. And everybody steps up to the plate and everybody pitches in. And I think you guys can probably tell that. You know, if you've been watching any of the vlog months with us, we started vlog months last year for Vlogtober. So we've shown you Vlogtober now 2 years in a row. This is our second Vlogmas. And we also took you along during the summer for Vlogmas this year. And I think it's probably pretty apparent that we do a lot of stuff as a family, and you will see the kids jumping in there to help, and the hubs and myself. And so working together, it just all comes together. When it comes to planning out stuff for the children's church or for our youth activities at the church, there are certain things that if I'm got memory verses that have to be cut out, or you know, paperwork has to be stapled together for the kiddos to take home, or we're putting together craft projects and preparing all that. The kids, as well as my husband, if they're not busy doing other stuff, we sit down and we work on it all together as a family. You know, you could walk in our door and see us all sitting down together, cutting out the memory verses, or sitting down together, cutting out the little craft pieces that we may need for craft projects. And it's never that, okay, well, that's, whoops, little glitch with the camera there, so I'm not real sure exactly where it cut me off. But basically what I was saying is we all just pitch in and get it done together. That's how we make it work. And yeah, there are times like this morning whenever I get to a point where I am just very exhausted, because we do have a lot that we do. But I gotta tell you, it really doesn't wear me out to the point to where I feel non-functional, because of the simple fact, this is what I believe: when God's called you to something, He graces you to do it, and He gives you what you need emotionally, mentally, physically, in every way. He provides for you to do it. So all the extra activities that we do with the church and ministry wise and that kind of stuff, homeschooling Bub and getting all that together, that is just what we know that God has asked of us as a family, and He graces us to do it. The only times that I really get completely worn out, where I feel like I can't go on, is whenever I step out over and above and take on things that I really haven't even prayed or asked God about, and it's like I just want to do something kind for someone else and do something for them that will relieve a burden on them, but then that adds an extra task on me, and in those times I can get worn out really fast, and I have to remember boundaries, and I have to remember that I have to stay focused on what I know God has called us as a family to do, and my responsibilities in that arena. And as long as I do that, He's going to grace me to be able to do it. And I have to, boundaries are very important. And that can be a whole other cocoa and cookies in itself. But anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for the questions again. I'm going to keep working on this YouTube Live and see if we can't finally figure it out for you. And hopefully by next Monday, we will be live on the air. So what I need you to do is comment down below and tell me the best time on Mondays for you. And I'm going to try to do that in a consensus, like what would be the best live time for the majority of people who answer, as long as that works in with our schedule as well, because we also have soccer and all those kind of things that we work around. So if a vast majority of you say are on your lunch break at 12 o'clock and that's when you want to tune in, then we'll go with 12 o'clock. If a vast majority of you, it works out better for you around 9 o'clock, then that's what we'll do. So comment below and let me know that if Cocoa and Cookies can go live, what's going to be the best time that you're going to be able to tune in. All right, I want to thank you so much for joining me again for another little chat, and I will see you soon in the next video.